The faint scar on my sister's collarbone, the one from a childhood bike crash we'd laughed about over too many margaritas, caught the lamplight like a secret I'd never known she shared with him. Until that humid Atlanta evening when I pushed open our bedroom door and saw her straddling my husband, her gasp slicing the air sharper than any scalpel I'd ever held. Sweat beaded on Mark's forehead, his hands frozen mid-caress on her hips, the sheets tangled around them like the lies we'd all woven together for months. In that heartbeat, the world I'd built, brick by careful brick, crumbled, leaving only the metallic tang of betrayal on my tongue and the low hum of the ceiling fan mocking my stunned silence. I'm Laura, 37, a pediatric surgeon at Emory's sprawling campus hospital, where the days stretch long with the cries of tiny patients and the nights shorter still under fluorescent lights that never dim. We lived in a cozy ranch-style home in Decatur, the kind with a white fence that hid the wild azaleas blooming unchecked in the backyard, and a kitchen island scarred from family brunches where Jenna, my sister 2 years my junior, would perch with her sketch pad, doodling logos while Mark grilled pancakes golden and crisp. No kids of our own yet, just dreams deferred for his law firm climbs and my residency echoes, but Rosie, our lab mix, filled the quiet with her tail thumps against hardwood. Jenna was the artist in the family, freelancing graphic designs from coffee shops in Midtown, her laugh a cascade that always pulled us closer, or so I'd thought. That night, I'd scrubbed out early from a 12-hour shift, the OR's antiseptic bite still clinging to my scrubs as I unlocked the front door, expecting Mark's usual post-dinner sprawl on the couch with a baseball game flickering blue on the TV. The house smelled off, her lavender lotion mixed with his aftershave, a cocktail that turned my stomach before I even crested the stairs. Rosie's whine from the laundry room pulled me up short, her paws scratching faint at the door. But the murmur from our bedroom drew me like a code blue. Low voices, a giggle, Jenna's, unmistakable, then a moan that twisted my gut. I pushed the door, Hinge sighing soft, and there they were, her dark hair spilling over his chest, his fingers tracing that scar as if it were a map to forbidden places. Time fractured. The fans whir, the distant neighbor's lawnmower dying to stutter, the bed frames creak as they jolted apart. "Laura," Mark rasped, yanking the duvet up like a shield, his face ashen under the bedside glow. Jenna scrambled back, clutching a pillow to her chest, her eyes, mirror images of mine, wide and hazel, filling with tears that spilled hot and immediate. "Oh God, no, Laura, wait!" The word hung, absurd, as fury bloomed cold in my veins, my hands clenching the doorframe until splinters bit palm. I backed out, steps mechanical down the hall, the carpet muffling my retreat like an accomplice. In the kitchen, the fridge hummed indifferent, and I gripped the counter, knuckles whitening, the cool granite grounding the spin in my head. How long? The visits she'd made, just to catch up, the way he'd linger after her hugs, his cologne sharper those mornings. Betrayal doubled, tripled, husband and sister. The two pillars I'd leaned on since Dad's heart attack 5 years back. When we'd promised each other family first, they followed. Footsteps hesitant on the stairs, Mark in boxers, hair tousled. Jenna in her tank and shorts, arms wrapped tight as if to hold herself together. "Babe, listen," Mark started, voice that low plea he'd used after late nights at the office, reaching for my arm. I jerked away, the contact electric with revulsion, spinning to face them under the pendant light that swung gentle, casting shadows long across the tile. "Don't. Touch me." My whisper cut, steady despite the quake inside, and Jenna sobbed outright, sinking onto a bar stool, her hands trembling on the island's edge. We didn't... Laura, please, it just happened. Just happened." The phrase landed like a slap, heat rising in my cheeks as I laughed, a hollow, broken sound that echoed off the cabinets. "In our bed? After you borrowed my blouse this morning, Jenna, while I was saving kids' lives?" She flinched, tears tracking mascara black down her face, the lavender now cloying in the close air. Mark stepped between, hands out placating. "Stress. The caseload. Her breakup last month. She needed a friend. Friend." The word twisted, and I met his eyes, the brown depths I'd drowned in at our vineyard wedding, now murky with guilt. My sister. You couldn't find another shoulder? The argument simmered low, voices hushed against Rosie's distant whines, each evasion a fresh cut. His one time, her I love you both, my questions piling like unanswered pages in a chart. Get out, I said finally, voice cracking on the edge, pointing to the door where moonlight slanted silver through the blinds. Mark hesitated, mouth opening on more pleas, but Jenna rose, grabbing her bag from the hook, her sniffle sharp. Laura, we're family. This doesn't have to— Family? I cut her off, throat tight. Family doesn't fuck in secret. Go. The door clicked shut behind them, the sound final as a monitor flatlining, leaving me in the sudden quiet, chest heaving. The clock's tick mocking at 10:47 p.m. I slid to the floor, back to cabinet, knees drawn up, the tile cold seeping through scrubs. Tears came then, hot and silent, soaking my sleeve as Rosie's scratches grew frantic. How had I missed it? The shared glances at Thanksgiving, her innocent sleepovers when storms rolled in, betrayal's weight pressed, heavy as the stethoscope around my neck, but beneath it, a spark flickered, not just grief, but grit, the surgeon's instinct to excise the rot. Morning broke gray, rain pattering the roof like impatient fingers, and I called in. Family emergency. The charge nurse's sympathy a balm over the phone. Coffee brewed dark, steam curling bitter, but it steadied my hands as I stripped the bed upstairs, sheets carrying their mingled scents like evidence bags. In the hamper, his underwear drawer yielded the first fruits of fury. A week's worth, cotton twisted and stained, the intimate remnants of mornings I'd kissed him goodbye. I gathered them, fabric soft in my fists. The act methodical, rage channeling into resolve. Tara, my OR partner and lifeline since med school, arrived by 10, her knock firm, bearing donuts glazed and warm from the corner bakery. We sat at the island, sugar dusting our fingers, her green eyes fierce over the box. Both? Jesus, Laura, that's nuclear. Nuclear. The word fit, and I nodded, the story spilling between bites, each detail a lancet, the scar, the moan, the pleas. She reached across, squeezing hard. Lawyer, therapist, and revenge? Make it surgical, surgical. The idea bloomed precise, a strike to expose, not destroy. Afternoon dragged, sun-piercing clouds in fits, and I drove to Jenna's design studio in a converted mill loft off the Beltline. The hamper basket rattling on the seat like bones. Her desk sat in the open bullpen, surrounded by mood boards pinned with fabric swatches and her Mac glowing with half-rendered fonts. I'd visited before, sisterly pride swelling at her pitches, but now the space felt alien, the air humming with indie playlists from speakers overhead. Colleagues nodded vague. Hey, Laura, as I approached, heart thundering under my hoodie, the basket unzipped casual. She was out, lunch run, her chair empty, a half-eaten apple browning on a coaster. With a breath held tight, I upended the contents, underwear spilling in a cascade across her keyboard, draping her stylus, one pair catching on her coffee mug like a noose. The faint musk rose, personal as a fingerprint, and I arranged nothing, let chaos speak. A post-it quick, forgot these at home. Then gone, the loft's echo fading as elevators descended, the ding a punctuation to my audacity. Back home, rain easing to mist, my phone lit with Jenna's name, voicemails stacking, Laura, what the fuck? Office, call me. I didn't. Instead, wine poured deep red into a stemless glass, the tart bite matching the twist in my gut. Mark texted, heard, babe, talk, as if dialogue could suture this. Evening fell soft, Rosie's head heavy on my lap, but sleep evaded, mind replaying the spill, the shock to come. Empowerment stirred, quiet but insistent. This wasn't the end. It was incision, but as thunder grumbled distant, a deeper wound revealed itself, the family's fracture lines, cracking wide under pressure. The studio's fallout crashed by dawn. Jenna's texts a barrage lighting my phone like flares in the dark, humiliated. Everyone saw. How could you? How could I? The question looped as I walked Rosie, dew slick on grass, her leash taut in my grip, the neighborhood stirring with joggers and sprinklers hissing awake. Guilt nipped, sharp as the chill air on my cheeks, but resolve armored it. She and Mark had paraded their secret in my sanctuary. This was merely the mirror held up, reflection unflinching. Work pulled me in by 8. The hospital's corridors a maze of white coats and beeping carts. My rounds a rhythm of vitals checked, and parents' anxious eyes met with calm assurances. Little Mia in room 312, her post-op bandage fresh, gripped my hand with fingers small and trusting. "Will it hurt tomorrow, Dr. Laura?" "Tomorrow." The innocence pierced, and I knelt, stethoscope cool against her chest. "A little, but ice cream helps. Promise, promise." Words I'd broken none to them, yet here I doled them like candy. Lunch in the cafeteria, tray clattering with salad limp and vinaigrette sharp, brought Tara's table, her fork pausing mid-spear green. Heard from the grapevine. Jenna's boss called her in. The desk's a crime scene. Crime. The underwear, evidence of intimacy turned weapon. I nodded, fork twisting lettuce, the fluorescent buzz overhead mirroring my inner static. Good. Let her feel exposed. Tara leaned in, voice low over the chatter of trays. "And Mark?" He called the unit. Sounded wrecked. Satisfaction flickered, but laced with ache, the man who'd held me through board exams. Now collateral. Afternoon consults blurred. A cleft palate consult. Tiny mouth open under lights, the OR team's murmurs a familiar hum. But my mind wandered to Mom's house call pending. Her Sunday supper's a ritual since Dad's passing, roast chicken crisping in cast iron, her hands floured from biscuits. The phone vibrated mid-chart. Mom's number, tone urgent. I stepped to the hall, echoey and sterile, answering soft. "Laura, Jenna's here, crying, says you attacked her at work." Attacked. The words stung, and I leaned against cinder block, cool through scrubs. "Mom, it's not." They were together. "In our bed." Silence crackled, then her gasp, chair creaking faint. "No, my babies." "Mark too?" "Two." The confirmation hung and tears pricked my eyes, the hall's antiseptic bite turning bitter. "Last night, I saw." Her voice broke, soft as the quilts she'd pieced from our baby clothes. "Come over. Tonight, we fix this." Fix. As if family glue could mend shattered vows. I agreed, hanging up to the page for a fever spike. Adrenaline surging back to task. Evening drive wound through twilight streets. Taillights blurring red in drizzle, the wipers thump a dirge to normalcy lost. Mom's bungalow glowed warm, porch light haloed, her hug at the door fierce, lavender soap and worry on her skin. Inside, the kitchen steamed with chicken gravy bubbling, but Jenna sat at the table, eyes rimmed red, tissues crumpled like fallen petals. "Laura," she whispered, rising half, but I waved off, hanging my coat on the hook, scarred from years. Mom bustled plates, green beans, snap crisp, mashed potatoes creamy, but the air thickened, utensils clinking tense. "Tell me true," Mom said, settling heavy, her fork poised. So I did, the door push, the tangle, the laughter cut short, words measured as diagnoses, each fact a probe. Jenna sobbed midway, fork down. It started small. "Drinks after my breakup." He listened. Like you do, listened. The intimacy I'd gifted him, now borrowed. I met her gaze, the table's oak smooth under palm. "Small, in my home." "With my husband?" Mark's absence loomed, his text unread. "At a bar. Need you." Need. I deleted, the swipe final. Mom's hand covered mine, knuckles knotted from nursing shifts like mine. "Forgiveness, Laura. Blood's blood. Blood, but betrayal congealed it cold, and I pulled back gentle. They spilled mine first." Jenna reached then, voice trembling. "I quit freelancing for that client." "The desk. Everyone knows now. I'm sorry." "Sorry." The word wilted, and I stood, chair scraping. Sorry doesn't wash sheets. The door shut soft behind me, rain sheeting the windshield, home a beacon dim. There, Mark waited on the porch, rain-damp shirt clinging, eyes shadowed under the bulb. Heard from Jenna, heard, as if gossip bridged the chasm. I brushed past, key turning, rosy greeting with wet nose to knee. Inside he followed, drip pooling on mat. "One mistake, Laura, I love you." Love, The claim rang hollow, and I whirled in the hall, shadows dancing from the sconce. "Love my sister? In our bed?" He stepped close, breath minty from gum chewed in nerves. "Confusion, stress. She gets the chaos, like you used to. The past tense sliced, and I shoved his chest, light but pointed, the thud echoing my heart. "Get out. Paper's coming." He lingered, plea in his stance, but nodded, doors click a period. Alone, I rifled his closet. Suits crisp, but pockets yielded receipts. Dinners at spots we'd planned, her name scribbled. More fuel. The hamper called again. Forgotten socks, briefs from his gym bag, sweat stiff. I bagged them, plastic whispering, the collection growing like a case file. Next day, hospital rounds dawn lit, but a consult pulled short. Mom's call, voice frail. Jenna's packing, moving to Auntie's in Savannah, moving, fracture spreading. I nodded to empty air, charting hasty. Tara cornered in the lounge, coffee steaming. Family imploding? Imploding. Like stars, I murmured, sip burning tongue. But I'm the one left standing. Afternoon brought the PI, discreet, recommended by a colleague's divorce, his office dim with file cabinets looming. "Timeline?" he asked, pen scratching. I laid it out. Suspicions from her visits. The bed. He nodded, fees quoted low. Texts, locations. Weeks turn. The wait stretched, but evening yoga with Tara, mats unrolled in her living room, incense curling sweet, bent me flexible, breaths deep, chasing calm. "Revenge round 2? She teased, downward dog steady. I smiled faint. Karma's patient. Night fell heavy. Rosie curled tight, but my phone buzzed. Jenna's can't stay. "Forgive someday?" Someday. I typed time first, send hanging. Mark's bar tab showed in bank alert. Late? Alone? Doubt crept, but the bag by the door anchored. More laundry, his running shorts twisted. The studio again? No. Her new temp gig at an agency downtown, desk in the lobby visible. Heart raced, but I drove, city lights streaking, the drop swift. Pile on her chair, note home deliveries. Back, rain lashing, empowerment swelled, not petty, but precise. But as lightning forked, illuminating the empty side of the bed, the real shock loomed. Mom's secret, buried deep, threatening to bury us all. Dawn's light filtered pale through storm clouds. The coffee maker gurgling its ritual as I stared at the pot, steam rising like unanswered prayers. Rosie's nails clicking soft on the floor in search of breakfast. The PI's prelim email landed mid-sip, texts recovered. Miss, your laugh from him to her, timestamps overlapping my shifts. Hotel pings 3 blocks from her loft. Evidence stacked, cold as the mug in my hand. But the knock at the door pulled me sharp. Mom, unannounced, her face drawn under a rain-damp umbrella, eyes red as the azaleas she'd planted for Dad. We sat at the island, untouched toast crumbling under her fingers, the kitchen clock ticking accusation at 7:15 a.m. Jenna left at midnight, she said, voice threadbare. Blames herself. But Laura, there's more. More. The word chilled and I set the mug down, ceramic clinking tile. What? She exhaled slow, hands twisting napkin to shreds. Years ago, after your dad, I leaned on Mark. Talks, nothing physical. But Jenna knew. Thought you did too, leaned. The revelation landed. A secondary wound, my rock, cracked. I rose, pacing the rug's fringe, the air thick with yesterday's rain through cracked window. You confided in my husband over me? Hurt laced my tone, but calm held surgeon's poise. Mom's tears welled, spilling quiet. You were buried in residency. He was kind. Kind. The betrayal layered, family web tangling tighter. And Jenna? She used that? Mom nodded, dabbing eyes. Jealous, maybe. Wanted what you had. Stability. Love. Love. I stopped, hand on chair back, wood warm from sun. They took it anyway. She left with hugs hollow, umbrella snapping shut, and I called off rounds, personal, the attendings understanding curt. Tara arrived noon, lunch bag swinging, her car splashing puddles curbside. Mom drama? She asked, unpacking subs on the coffee table, turkey and Swiss sharp with mustard. Over bites it poured. The leaning, the jealousy, Jenna's flight south. Tara's fork paused. Holy layers. Cut 'em all loose. Loose, but blood pulled, insistent as Rosie's tugs on leash. Afternoon emails piled, lawyer's consult booked, alimony projections neat in spreadsheets. But Jenna's agency drop? Gossip rippled. Her temp boss's LinkedIn message, polite probe. Incident? HR note. I replied vague, personal delivery, resolved, lie but shield. Evening therapy, virtual, screen glowing in dim living room, my counselor's voice steady. Boundaries, Laura, not walls. Boundaries. I nodded to pixels, but inside the bag's contents mocked. Last of his laundry, teas, sweat faded. Night brought Mark, key still his, turning quiet in lock. I met him hall, arms crossed, Rosie growling low at feet. Papers served tomorrow. Served. His face crumpled, duffel dropping thud. Laura, wait. Jenna's gone. It was her pushing. Blame shifted and rage flared, hot under skin. Our bed? Your hands? Own it. He stepped close, cologne faint, eyes pleading brown. I do, but you're my anchor. Anchor. The word once warmed, now chained. He begged in the den, couch sagging under weight, TV dark, his voice cracking on therapy. Change. You'll never survive without me, he whispered. Echo of post-dad nights when grief hollowed me, his arms then salvation. Now threat. I stood, remote in hand, channel flipping static. Watch me. Door shut on him. Rain resuming patter, and I sank to floor, sobs racking silent. Rosie's nose warm on neck. Survival. The vow etched, but ache lingered. 10 years. Evaporated, morning surgery loomed, appendix rupture. Tiny patient pale under lights, my scalpel steady as I incised clean. Clear field, I murmured to team, the bleed staunched quick, monitors beeping steady. Precision there. Chaos home. Tara scrubbed out beside, mask muffling. Heard Mark's firm nose. A fair clause in ethics. Nose. Karma's whisper, and I nodded, gown shedding like skin. Deserved. Afternoon, Savannah call, Jenna's number, voice small over static. Aunties, Mom told you? Told. The lean, the jealousy. Yeah, explains a lot. Silence. Then her sob. I hated you sometimes. Perfect life, perfect man. Hated, the confession gutted, and I gripped wheel at stoplight, horns blaring distant. Perfect? I bled for it. You stole it. Click, hung up, but seed sown. Not hate, but hurt shared. Evening family Zoom, moms insist, screen split with aunts, cousins pixelated. Talk skirted, recipes swapped, dad's old jokes retold. But Jenna joined late, face framed by fern, eyes downcast. Hi, she murmured, wave tentative. Murmurs rippled, but Mom steered. Healing starts here. Healing. I muted, staring at frozen frame, the underwear's ghost between us. Unmute, not yet. Log off, heart pounding, the screen's glow fading to dark. Mark's voicemail stacked, suspended. Because of us. Us, no, him. I listened one, his voice rough. Lost everything. Come back? Back. To what? The bed burned now, sheets donated, mattress hauled curbside. Tara's couch called, wine night, reds decanting slow, her patio strung lights twinkling. Burn more, she toasted, glasses clinking, more. His ties? No, deeper. The PI's full report, photos, her apartment visits logged. I forwarded to lawyer, send whooshing. Storm peaked midnight, thunder shaking windows, lightning illuminating the bag's last. His favorite boxers, monogrammed from our honeymoon. Agency drop too? No. Mom's bridge club, her desk at the community center, files neat. Risky, but the drive cleared head, wiper swiping arcs. Drop swift, pile on her planner, note family laundry. Back, soaked, laughter bubbled unbidden, absurd, empowering. But as hail ticked roof, Mom's text glowed. Found Dad's letter. About Mark. Read it. Letter. The twist uncoiled. Ready to snap. The letter arrived folded crisp in Mom's envelope. Postmarked hasty. The paper yellowed as old prescriptions. Dad's scrawl looping across pages like veins mapped. Laura, if you're reading this, knew about the liens. Mark helped your mom when I couldn't. Forgive the mess. Forgive. The words blurred under kitchen light, coffee cold beside, Rosie's sigh heavy on rug. Dated pre-heart attack, it explained. His suspicions of Mark's wandering eyes on Jenna at barbecues. But silence for peace. Peace. Shattered now. But the revelation shifted sands, not absolution but context. Softening edges raw. Morning consults waited, echo on a valve murmur. Gel cold on chest, images flickering gray on screen. Stable, I told the parents, their relief a mirror to my inner churn. Tara caught me post, lounge vending humming. Letter? Letter. I nodded, handing the photocopy, her eyes scanning quick. Dad knew? Heavy. Heavy. Makes the hate harder. Hate. Fading to hurt, perhaps grace. Lawyer's office midday, leather chairs creaking, files thumping desk, her glasses perched low. Adultery proven. House yours, alimony solid. Solid. I signed, pen gliding smooth, the ink drying like closure's seal. Outside sun broke through, puddles steaming, a rainbow faint arching. Mark called en route home, voice edged defeat. Saw the papers, fair. Fair. It is. Pause. Then his whisper, I loved you first. First. Ache tugged, but I hung up. Engine humming to forward. Jenna's return flight booked. Savannah stint short, Auntie's couch too lumpy for long. Mom-mediated brunch, neutral cafe off Ponce, mimosas fizzing pale, croissants flaking buttery. She arrived tentative, sundress loose, eyes shadowed. Read the letter? Read, I nodded, fork spearing fruit. Dad suspected? Suspected. Her nod slow. Explains my push. Wanted his approval, too. Two. Layers peeled and tears pricked shared. Stole anyway. Stole. She reached, hand hovering. Repay? Time, space, whatever. Brunch stretched, talk threading careful. Her therapy starts, freelance pivot to wellness graphics, clean breaks. Mom's smile tentative, orange juice tart on tongue. Sisters mend, she said soft. Mend. Possible, thread by thread. I squeezed Jenna's fingers, brief but real, the contact warm without burn. Home, the agency drops ripple. Her temp gig ended amicable, boss's note personal matters. Karma quiet, not vengeful. Months wove, fall leaves carpeting paths, my promotion to chief resident, white coat heavier, responsibilities sharp. Dates tentative. Coffee with Alex, a pharmacologist whose questions lingered gentle, no ghosts in his laugh. Mark's visits sparse, papers finalized over neutral lunch, his new apartment sparse, eyes clearer sans guilt. Proud of you, he said last, fork pausing on salad. Proud. Same. Closure. Bittersweet as the vinaigrette. Thanksgiving gathered small, Mom's table groaning turkey, cranberry tart, Jenna beside, no buffer. Talk flowed, her first client win, my OR triumph. Post pie, dishes sudsing, she hugged sidewise. Thank you. For the wake up, the underwear, legend unspoken. I smiled, suds popping. Sisters stumble. We rise. Winter solstice brought snow rare, flakes dusting azaleas dormant, rosy bounding white. New Year's Eve, Tara's fire pit crackled, Ryan, Alex evolved, arm warm round shoulders, countdown sparkling. Resolutions etched quiet, boundaries breathed, love earned. Jenna's gift, a sketch of us three, Mom, her, me, under oaks, scars faint, but there. Worn now, frame on mantel beside wedding photo, faded but kept. Spring unfurled dogwoods pink, lake weekends with Jenna tentative, paddles dipping still water, laughter echoing old. Mark remarried quiet, per Facebook ghost, blonde, no shadows. Twinge, not tear, my ring finger bare, but heart fuller. Ryan's proposal spring, ring simple gold, under those same oaks. Karma circled full. Jenna's designs bloomed agency, Mark's firm steady sand scandal. Me, thrived, fellowship landed, tiny patience grins my north. The underwear? Spark, not blaze. Igniting truth, burning dross to forge stronger. Betrayal with kin carves canyons, but time terraces them to gardens, roots entwined resilient. Family's not flawless, it's fought for, forgiven, fierce. In the fight, we find ourselves, whole, unyielding. If this journey resonated, like and share your take. Ever mended a family fracture? Drop your city in comments. Thanks for listening. Next story soon.